Welcome to episode 9 of the New Breed Podcast. Live from Mom's basement. We are wrecking things and making it crazy. I am one of your co-hosts. I am an old school Browns fan, Mike Mitchell. And my co-host happens to be my son.
I am Grady Mitchell. I am a New Breed of Browns fan. And this man's son here.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's all you got?
It's not very much else to it.
That's all you got. By the way, Grady has not yet seen The Running Man. We've been trying for a couple days. Not really into it yet, but Jim Brown in The Running Man is a classic, and every one of you should watch it. Even if it causes you to gouge your eyes out by the end, you should still watch it. I think it's perfect.
Oh, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Thanks a lot.
It's pretty well. It's a typical 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, so take it for what it's worth. You want to jump in to our recent headlines?
Yeah.
Let's jump into recent headlines. Are you going first or am I going first?
You go first.
All right. So first up, this one's pretty fresh. I have some interesting takes on it, but Cleveland.com, Mary Kay Cabot, the Bucks linebacker Lavonte David, and Jets wide receiver Brashad Perriman among free agents on the Browns' radar. The Browns could have used linebacker Lavonte David to help chase down Chad Henne in the AFC divisional playoff loss to the Chiefs. But maybe he'll be in a Browns uniform when they visit the Chiefs next season, says Mary Kay. My personal opinion, Lavonte David, too high a price tag, not going to go after him. I do think that receiver Brashad Perriman could come back to be a Brown, as we need somebody to take the top off, man. We need that outside the numbers kind of guy. What do you got? What's your take?
I mean, Lavonte David's good, but, you know, they have Devin White. I think they play with two linebackers anyway, so he's a help to that linebacking core. I mean, I'd say we'd rather go after Shaquille Barrett instead of him because, you know, cheaper price tag. I mean, about the same price, but cheaper nonetheless. Brashad Perriman, yeah, fast guy. Not very big, but yeah, we need a small, fast guy like JoJo Natson.
This turned into a JoJo Natson moment. I think JoJo could have been used down the stretch if they could figure out how to make him the Tyreek Hill kind of small, fast guy, but that really didn't happen down the stretch. I don't know. Let us know what you think. I just don't see Lavonte David. I don't see the Browns coming up with the money to pay Lavonte David. Brashad Perriman, I can see. I just don't see Lavonte. I mean, it gets everybody excited. Lavonte David is a great linebacker. Don't get me wrong. He is every bit worth the money. I just don't see us spending it on linebacker.
Yeah. Next up is Marshawn Lattimore on his way to the Cleveland Browns. Browns Nation. Pat Opperman. Pat Opperman says, but today the greater Cleveland area is a Twitter, if you'll pardon the pun. Thanks to Marshawn Lattimore's latest post. Marshawn Lattimore posted, just trying to put Cleveland on the map. Be patient and don't cross me. He tweeted that on February 23rd. What's your take?
Do you think that's a cryptic tweet that Marshawn is coming to Cleveland?
Well, it's not really cryptic. He's just saying, I want to go to Cleveland.
Okay, so you got to understand, though, that Marshawn is a Cleveland kid. Mm-hmm. He is a Cleveland guy. That his saying just trying to put Cleveland on the map might not necessarily mean he's going to be a Cleveland Brown, but that he is a Cleveland kid who's trying to put Cleveland on the map. I don't know that means he's coming to Cleveland, but come on, let's go. I'd sign him. I'd sign him right now.
Corner.
We need depth.
And he's good.
good enough to play opposite Denzel, and both guys could just shut the show down, if you know what I'm saying.
Both Ohio State. Didn't they play together?
I think maybe for a year, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
But, both Ohio State guys, both talented corners. I really think they'd get along and bond well, and that corner position would not really be a need for us.
I think you'd still need a slot corner. You're still going to need a dime corner.
Like Money Mitch.
You're talking Money Mitch could be in that mix. Grady could be in that mix, and a draft pick could be in that mix. Mm-hmm. If you sign Marshawn, so you sign Lattimore, you sign Money Mitch to a good deal, and then you draft one. That's 4 deep. You're going to have MJ Stewart, who we're going to talk about later. Robert Jackson's going to add depth. You're going to have a lot of depth there because those guys are going to get hurt. And so, COVID. Yeah, well, I don't know that that's going to be as big as issue this year as it was last year. Just my personal opinion. But I think that depth at corner is going to be a plus. If you got a guy like Marshawn, you can throw Marshawn and Denzel on each end. Keep Grady and Money Mitch in slot. 3 safeties, which I think Joe Woods wants to do. You're going to have a pretty decent core to work with. Yeah.
I think I absolutely agree with everything that you just said.
Wow. My son just agreed with everything that I just said. That's incredible. Next up, we have from 247sports.com on the OBR, Fred Greetham, 5 steps to put the Cleveland Browns in a position to compete for the NFL's top prize pre-free agency. I have to add the note of pre-free agency. So number 1 on Fred Greetham's list is to sign a top edge rusher. Now he lists each one of these categories. He lists players. I don't know if they're ranked, if that's the order he would want them in or what, but he ranks them from 1 to 5. So number 1 is sign a top edge rusher, and his order goes 1, Yannick Ngakoue, Trey Hendrickson, J.J. Watt, Carl Lawson, and Hassan Reddick. What's your take?
I mean, if we don't sign Olivier Vernon, then definitely, and even if we, if we do sign Olivier Vernon back, then there probably wouldn't be a need for another edge rusher. But
you're still going to draft one.
Yeah, we're definitely going to draft a nice.
You're going to draft
guy.
one and sign one, whether it's Olivier Vernon,
yeah.
Even if you sign Olivier Vernon, you got to realize his injury happened in November or December, so he's not going to be fully recovered from that injury till likely end of the season. So you still need to sign one, even if it's not Olivier Vernon, and draft one
just in case,
Right. He's not going to be back at the start of the season. There's no chance.
But yeah, I like all these names on here. How about you?
I think the names on this list, I think Carl Lawson, I love Carl Lawson, but I think he's going to sign back with the Bengals. Hassan Reddick, I don't know that I really want him on my squad. J.J. Watt is the gigantic chess piece move that's going to change all of this. Trey Hendrickson is kind of, how do I say this gently without upsetting Trey Hendrickson, because he's a large man who could hurt me. He's kind of the Walmart version of J.J. Watt at this stage in his career. Not to say he couldn't be. And Yannick Ngakoue, I don't think we have the money. I don't think we want to spend the money on Yannick Ngakoue.
He's a big money guy.
So throw your money at J.J. Watt, see if he comes. Throw your money at Carl Lawson, see if he comes. I don't know that any of those other 3 guys. I mean, we can use it. We can use the depth, but I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they'll be as productive with us. Maybe they would, because now they got Myles Garrett on the other end that's going to take off the double teams. But I don't know. Trey Hendrickson would probably be my choice of this list. Logical, we can get him choice, but I don't know. I think you're still going to draft one who could eventually take whoever this person is. Could take their spot.
Yeah, I think Trey Hendrickson, since the Saints are in such bad depth, and
Financially.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. They're gonna have to get rid of a lot of players, so that's why Marshawn Lattimore could be coming to Cleveland. Trey Hendrickson might be leaving. It's just financial problems with them.
Could be a fire sale.
And Drew Brees retiring.
Hopefully.
Maybe. Hopefully.
I know Drew Brees is a great quarterback, but man, just retire, dude. Seriously. His next one, number 2, is sign a starting cornerback. So number 1 was sign a top edge rusher. Now number 2, sign a starting cornerback. His cornerbacks in list are 1, William Jackson, 2, Shaquille Griffin, 3, Brian Poole, 4, Mike Hilton, and 5, Richard Sherman. Give me your fresh take.
Mike Hilton, Shaquille Griffin, all young guys,
Younger, yeah.
Yeah, younger
Brian
guys.
Poole?
Yeah. They're all pretty young. Richard Sherman. I mean, he wants to come to Cleveland, but age.
But does he?
Yeah, he said that. He said that.
Well, sure, because he wants to kind of reunite with Joe Woods, but I don't think we want to throw that money. I don't think we need to throw that money at that man.
That's a lot of money, though. So
William Jackson, we've got a Jackson on our roster that's probably just as good. I don't know that I want that. Shaquille Griffin would be nice. I think he's going to want more money. Brian Poole is logical, financially and positionally. Mike Hilton, if you go back and watch the wild card game against the Steelers, I don't know you want Mike Hilton on your team because that dude got torched. And then Richard Sherman, I love you, bro, but no, man, I got to pass on that. I'm trying to get younger and faster. I ain't trying to get older and smarter. So, and broker, is that a word? To spend more money to get broke. I'm not getting broke on Richard Sherman. But I would, out of those 5 that he lists, I think Brian Poole would be at the top of my list. Maybe William Jackson is next, Shaquille Griffin next based on money. Mike Hilton might be at or below Richard Sherman, but yeah, I think there's even some other attractive guys that might be out there available. We'll have to see. I think free agency period is going to open up more than what we think because guys are going to get released. There's the cap, with the cap dropping, dude, guys are going to get released that you don't think.
Yeah,
And I'm saying that so that Browns fans will be cautious, because you're going to probably see some Browns players that are making some bank right now that either are going to get traded or get released. I'm preparing you now, young Padawan.
Jarvis
Landry. Anyway, his third, Fred Greetham's third thing, right? Sign a starting safety. Now, I agree. However, this list is pretty heavy. So number 1 on his list is Justin Simmons. Number 2, Anthony Harris. Number 3, Marcus Williams. Number 4, John Johnson. And number 5, Marcus May. What's your take?
All of these guys are young, right?
Yeah, for the most part, they're all young.
I mean, they're all good too.
Harris might be the oldest one there, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I really like John Johnson. He like really showed up this year for the Rams, I'm assuming. That John Johnson.
I think that's the John Johnson. Marcus Williams, obviously, notable for missing Stephon Diggs completely 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game or NFC Divisional round. Missed him completely. And but anyway, Justin Simmons is going to be a lot of money. Anthony Harris is going to be a lot of money. You might get Marcus Williams, but he's probably going to be a lot of money. I think Marcus May might get out of this list. I think Marcus May might give you the best bang for your buck because I don't think he's going to cost as much as the others.
Like Carl.
John Johnson could be, but again, man, I got Carl Joseph, who I think made more impact plays down the stretch than any Brown safety we've seen in a long time.
That we'll talk about.
Man, let's just re-sign Carl.
Yeah.
Is Grant going to be healthy? Maybe. Let's draft one, and then let's roll with those 3.
Get rid of Andrew.
Yeah, okay. Andrew Sandejo is not coming back. I hope. I love you, Andrew, but Nah, man, you got to miss me with that. Number 4 was add interior defensive line depth. Now, we talked about this. We've talked about this before. And I don't think, even if you do not sign Larry Ogunjobi, I don't think your defensive line depth has a problem. You've got 4 at least without Larry Ogunjobi. You've got Sheldon Richardson. You've got
Jordan Elliott.
You've got Vincent Taylor. And you've got Andrew Billings, assuming he comes back from COVID. That's a 4-deep defensive line rotation right there already. I'm not quite sure why add interior defensive line depth is on this list, but his 5, Leonard Williams, who will be expensive. 2, Shelby Harris. Number 3, Sheldon Rankins. Number 4, Poona Ford. And number 5, Hassan Ridgeway. For the money, maybe give me Ford or Ridgeway. Don't know that I would really need Rankins. Harris might not be bad. Leonard Williams is going to be too expensive. If you're going to sign Leonard Williams, obviously he would be an upgrade from Larry. No offense, Larry. We love you. But Leonard Williams is going to cost you a lot of money because he's basically a Sheldon Richardson. So he's going to give you that kind of production. What's your take on defensive line?
I don't know. I mean, money wise, you never know, honestly. I think we have more important positions than defensive line that could need help. Our defensive line is like really good. Larry Ogunjobi, Sheldon Richardson, Myles Garrett, and Olivia Vernon being all the starters, and they probably didn't even play half of the season, and yet
off and on between. Yeah. Well, I think Sheldon Richardson played the most snaps out of all those guys.
I think he played the most out of everybody on the whole team, because I don't think he ever went out on injury, COVID.
True.
But yeah, all those guys are great. I mean, even the backups are great. Porter Gustin, Adrian Claiborne, Jordan Elliott, young guy,
Vincent Taylor.
All those guys are great,
Serve a purpose. So his 5th spot, add a starting linebacker. He has 1 Levante David, 2 Matt Milano, 3 Jayon Brown, 4 KJ Wright, and 5 Denzel Perryman. I'm going to say this as nicely as I can say this, but Joe Woods has said over and over and over again that he wants to go to a base dime, 4 down, 3 corners, 3 safeties, and a linebacker. I'm not sure that you still got a lot of guys on rookie deals. Mac Wilson, Taki, Jacob Phillips,
BJ Goodson.
BJ Goodson is up for re-sign.
And I just saw that the Browns are looking to re-sign Malcolm Smith. So.
Malcolm could be a very good spot player. He's not going to be your everyday player at this stage in his career. I'm telling you, like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't think Levante David's on their radar. I think that is a smokescreen. I could be wrong, but I just don't see Joe Woods coming out and saying, hey, give me a multi-million-dollar linebacker to plug into that middle of that defense so all these guys can run around him and fly around. I just don't think that's what he's looking for. I could see a Jayon Brown. I could see a Denzel Perryman, but I'm not quite sure that with the names that he's listed here, that's going to make logical sense. And again, I could be wrong, but a heavy analytical crew that's likely trying to stay under the cap. I don't see these names coming in at linebacker.
Fair.
And that was the 5 categories that he was talking about. Fred Greetham was talking about: sign a top edge rusher, sign a starting corner, sign a starting safety, add interior defensive line depth, and then add a starting linebacker. So I think you got a lot of guys that would say they're starting linebackers on that squad right now. Just FYI. What do you got for the final highlight of the week?
Browns had held a virtual meeting with Northwestern cornerback Greg Newsome, Jeff Resden from BrownsWire.USA Today. Player meetings and team interviews with the draft prospects are going on. One of the players the Browns are confirmed to have met with recently is a promising, interesting one, Northwestern cornerback Greg Newsome II.
Not unusual. He's been rising up people's boards. And I personally think that the Browns are going to take that 26th pick. They are either going to draft an edge rusher, a corner, or they're going to trade back. If they trade back, that means they'll have multiple second-round picks, and Greg Newsome could be one of those.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, this honestly adds to our corner depth, clearly. And it's a good corner, you know. Denzel and Greg Newsome. Hopefully Grady's back. Hopefully we resign Money Mitch, Cover Johnson, you know.
And you can add depth pretty cheap by going draft. So Greg Newsome is one of those guys.
Yep.
That does it for our recent headlines. We'll do that next time. We just talked about our training camp journals. We need to find those, and I found mine. I know where it is right now, but I didn't think about it for this episode. I know
where mine is.
So before next episode, you got to find your training camp journal, and we'll talk about them.
I'll find it right after.
We'll go back. We'll go back like a year. Last year during training camp, this is what happened.
Yep.
This is what we saw with our eyes.
And
watching it every day on the Browns YouTube channel.
And JC Treader was also hurt during training camp.
Yeah, he wasn't even there.
He had like an ankle injury or something.
So we are going to go to our final. I know you're getting this episode on March 1st, but we are going to go to our final Browns Black History moment because we could not have a Browns Black History moment without the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, you know him. Number 82. Ozzie Newsome Jr. He was born March 16th, 1956, as a former American professional football player who was a tight end for the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League. He was inducted to both the College Football Hall of Fame in 1994 and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1999. He's also a former general manager of the Baltimore Ravens, as we call them, the Purple Browns, from 1996 to 2018, and now serves as a behind-the-scenes executive with the team. Newsome played for the University of Alabama, where he started for all 4 years of his college career. It's where he picked up the nickname, the Wizard of Oz. Newsome made the college football All-American team in 1977 and assisted the Crimson Tide to a 42-6 overall record during his 4 seasons. In total, Newsome amassed 102 receptions for 2,070 receiving yards and 16 touchdowns. His 20.3 yards per catch average was a Southeastern Conference record for over 20 years. Insane. Ozzie Newsome went to Colbert County High School in Layton, Alabama, and was a member, obviously, of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He was drafted in 1978, round 1, pick 23, by the Cleveland Browns. His career history as a player, he played for the Cleveland Browns from 1978 to 1990. Me?
Yeah.
As an executive, he was with the Cleveland Browns front office from 1991 to 1995, which became the Baltimore Ravens in 1996 to the present. His career highlights and awards as a player: he was a 3-time Pro Bowler in 1981, 1984, and 1985.
He was a 2-time first-team All-Pro in 1979 and 1984.
He was a second-team All-Pro in 1980, 1981, 1983, and 1985.
He was in the NFL 1980s All-Decade Team.
He was a consensus All-American in 1977.
He is in the Cleveland Browns Ring of Honor.
And he was a 2-time first-team All-SEC in 1976 and 1977.
Jeez. He was a 2-time Super Bowl champion in
Yeah, the 2 Super Bowls with the Ravens.
I can't
35, and I can't read Roman numerals. But as an executive, he was a Super Bowl champion with the Ravens.
His NFL career stats were 662 receptions, 7,980 receiving yards, so close to 8,000, and 47 receiving touchdowns.
That is your Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie, we thank you. We love you. So sorry that you had to go on and have so much success with the Purple Browns, but we still love you. You were our Wizard of Oz. One of the great moments of my childhood is watching you catch passes from Bernie Kosar and beating virtually everyone except the Broncos. And so we love you. We thank you, and we appreciate you and everything that you do in the communities that you're involved in as well. Friends, that is our final Browns Black History moment. So now we want to give you, last episode, we did the best offensive plays from 2020 from our friends, the Cleveland Browns YouTube channel. And so today we want to give you the best defensive plays from 2020, fresh off the Cleveland Browns YouTube channel. Play-by-play announcer Jim Donovan and color commentator Doug Dieken are going to take you on a journey of the best defensive plays of the Browns in 2020. Take a listen. Those of you on YouTube, you get to see the video.
1st and 10. Remember, they got shut down on a 4th and 1 in Browns territory. They give the ball to Henry. He fumbled the ball, and the Browns have it. Carl Joseph's got it. He's got it at the Tennessee 22-yard line. Sheldon Richardson got his right arm in there. Man, is he playing. 1st down and 10. He takes the snap on 1st down. Back to pass. Throws it over the middle. It's picked off. Taki's got it at the 40, at the 30, at the 25-yard line. Sione Taki. With 3:16 left to go in the game, Big Ben throws his 4th interception of the night. And the Browns defense comes up with a huge play. Play clock down to 1. He's back to pass. And Myles Garrett's going to get him, and he knocks the ball away. It's another strip sack, and it was initiated by Myles Garrett. How about that, Doug? Pollard goes out in the flat. Prescott back to pass. He got hit by Garrett. That ball's loose on the turf, and the Browns have it. Olivier Vernon's got it. He is Mr. Strip Sack, I have to tell you. On 1st down from the blind side, they hit him and knock him down. And they wrestle the ball away.
Come on, baby.
Waiting on the snap, 3rd down and 8. He's back in his own end zone to throw. He's up in the pocket. They're going to hit him and knock him down. It's a safety. Olivier Vernon got him off the right side. And with Myles Garrett out, the Browns really needed Olivier Vernon. And man, is he delivered today. Big Ben is underneath center, calls the signals, turns, play action fake, back to pass. Now he's looking right. Now he dumps it over the middle. It's picked off. MJ Stewart's got it, and he brings it down to the Pittsburgh 46-yard line. Another turnover by the Steelers. The Browns are off to a great start. James Conner in the backfield on the right side of Big Ben. Motion by the tight end, McDonald down the line, left to right. And the snap goes high over the head of Big Ben, all the way back to the 2, to the 1, and the Browns have it in the end zone, and they dive on the ball and recover it for a touchdown. Carl Joseph's got it in the end zone. A touchdown.
Not a bad start.
6-0 Browns. Marquise Pouncey just sailed the ball over the head of Big Ben, who looked at James Conner. They raced back towards inside the 5-yard line. It went into the end zone. B.J. Goodson and Carl Joseph were over there, and Joseph recovers it. From the Cleveland 46, 2nd down 7, takes the snap, play action fake, he's back, he's going to get hit, it's up in the air, and it's picked off! Taki's got it, down the sideline, 25, 20, 15, 10, it's Denzel Ward on the tip, and the pick by Taki, touchdown! Shotgun for Rivers. 3rd down, the Browns shoving off the left side, then they drop off. Rivers back to pass, late pressure coming, steps up, throws, that's going to be picked off! They got it down the sideline, picked off by Ronnie Harrison, it's a pick 6, touchdown!
Well, Rivers throwing late, Ronnie Harrison just sitting out there on the flat waiting.
And we've been waiting to get him into that secondary. Welcome, Ronnie Harrison. Burrow back in the pocket, late pressure, he got hit. That ball's loose at the
Browns
one,
have it.
and the Browns have it at the 1 yard line.
So there you have it from Jim Donovan and Doug Dieken. You just witnessed some of the most amazing plays of the 2020 season. Grady,
Except for one.
can you pick out of what was there? We'll get to that. Out of what was there, what was your favorite?
So many. Too good.
How about if we do this? You cannot choose a play from the wild card game versus the Steelers because every one of those plays would be the number one play.
Oh my gosh.
So now you got to choose one of the other plays that were on that list.
Taki pick six.
The Taki pick six versus the Eagles. Wow.
Yeah.
What makes you like that one?
Because Taki, he kind of got benched this year.
A little bit.
And, to see him get 2 picks this season and one of them being a pick six and against the Eagles, I mean, it's not much to get a pick six against the Eagles and Carson Wentz. But, yeah, I think just he did it with style,
I think for me, again, if we avoid the Steelers wild card game, which wow,
it's like 5 of them.
There's so many in that wild card game.
Too many.
For me, I think it has to be overall. Can I just say Carl Joseph? Because the dude was like everywhere. Like I know this highlight reel started with week what was it at the Titans? Week 13 at the Titans, and Richardson forced a fumble on Derrick Henry, but who recovered it? Carl Joseph, who had an interception in the AFC divisional round playoff game. Carl Joseph, who had the fumble recovery in the end zone against the Steelers in the wild card game. Carl Joseph. I just think he's got to be a guy that you sign. He was everywhere on the field. He played that rover style position so well. So I just love that. But I think if I had to pick one of these plays that was not Carl Joseph, Ronnie Harrison's pick six, I think was incredible. He was just watching that over again. If you go back and watch that again, he was really up towards the line as a safety and was almost by the sideline and read that route. Like, I don't even think that Phillip Rivers thought he was going to be there, let alone he was close enough to step in front of it and return it for a pick six.
I think he ran the route better than the receiver did.
That's right.
In my opinion.
He was running a nice comeback route.
He just, boom. He read that out perfectly. So, yeah.
So what did not make the list was our honorable mention. I don't have video of this to show you because it wasn't in the list. But Grady, what was your favorite play defensively of the 2020 season?
Of course, it's Porter Gustin's pick against the Steelers. I love Porter Gustin. Okay, I really hope we re-sign him.
He could be cheap, so right? Yeah, maybe.
So if we don't sign Olivier, then we're definitely signing him back. But the way he's like a defensive lineman, and he just full extends out and just catches the ball. It's amazing.
The most improbable interception of our season came when Porter Gustin laid out and dove for the INT against the Steelers, and I have to agree with you. That's got to be one of my favorites.
And that game was already, dude. That game, I was like already so excited, dude. Like we were up by.
It was already in the bag.
We were up by so many points, and I'm like. And like I see somebody pick it off, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a defensive lineman."
It's 97.
It was 10 times better as soon as I saw it was Porter Gustin.
That boy built different.
10 times better.
That boy built different. So let us know what you think your favorite defensive plays of the year are. It does not have to be any of those on that list. It could be one of those on that list, but let us know. Give us some feedback. Drop something here in our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter. We'd love to hear your opinion. We might have to post something this week on Twitter with the Porter, Gus, and INT. That would be good. Hey, remember this kind of a moment. As we're talking about Twitter, we're going to go to our new segment. This is something that we've talked about, and this is our fun time. This is the good moment, our tweets of the week. So I started with one of my favorite tweets of the week, which was really recent. PFF, for those of you that don't follow at what used to be Pro Football Focus, if you follow at PFF, I think, or is it even still at Pro Football Focus? I didn't type in their at so to remember it. If you do follow, you know what PFF is. So the tweet was pressures allowed by the Browns offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And 2019, there were 153 pressures allowed by the Browns offensive line.
I tell you what, our offensive line last year was garbage.
Insert Bill Callahan, insert new coaching staff, and Jedrick Wills.
Joe Woods.
And
Jack Conklin.
Joe Woods was the defensive coordinator. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Jedrick
never
Wills
mind.
was the left tackle. They're JW. That's close.
Yeah, my mind's been on Joe Woods because the defensive plays and just the way he calls the defense.
That's true.
You know, it's just too good. Can't get it off my mind.
He's got it going on. In 2020, remember 2019 was 153 pressures allowed by the Browns offensive line. In 2020, 87. 87.
It's almost half.
That's almost half.
That's
And not
terrible.
only that, but you got to realize how many times did we lose an offensive lineman because of COVID? How many times did we have to bring a guy like Blake Hansen off the street? How many times did we have to? And Kendall Lamb had to play. I mean, we had all these guys that had to make, spot starts and fill ins, and they still only allowed 87 pressures. That's huge. It's huge. One of my other great tweets, and I only selected this one. This has nothing to do with the Browns specifically, other than many of our mock drafts. We have taken a wide receiver later in the rounds, and one of those receivers that we've taken is Kent State's very own Isaiah McCoy. I love Isaiah McCoy. I think he's a great, underappreciated route runner, receiver. And if you don't follow him, follow at Real Corey Kinnan. Corey Kinnan is incredible. I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe all Corey Kinnan does is sit around and watch tape. Literally, I think that's all he does is watch guys at their position over and over and over again. He says there was somebody that tweeted out. It said, "What player not currently seen as a top 100 player in the NFL draft will be an NFL star?" Corey Kinnan replied with, or quote tweeted, "One Isaiah McCoy," and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought that was perfect. I think he's going to be a huge star wherever he goes.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite tweets?
One of my favorite tweets was Pete Smith, our boy, who led the Browns in receiving touchdowns in 2020. This will be a great trivia question. Now, I found this hilarious because I already knew it was way too close for comfort, but the actual answer was Kareem Hunt with 5.
Now, okay, receiving stats is obviously subjective because screens to running backs count as receiving touchdowns. So we know the Browns' screen game was pretty strong.
I have to add something.
Okay.
If Hollywood would have scored that touchdown instead of Dirty Dan hitting him, then he would have been tied with Kareem.
Oh, you just totally opened the bag on that.
Tear drips down face.
Tear drips down face. Imagine that. Yeah, because OBJ had 4 and Higgins had 4, right?
Mm-hmm. So did Landry, I think.
No, Landry had 3. No, Landry had 4.
Yeah.
Landry had 4. Higgins had 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going off memory here. So I know DPJ had 3. Or did he have 2?
He had 2.
So he had 2. Landry had 3. Hooper and DPJ had 2. Or did Hooper have 3?
No, yeah.
Who else
Oh,
had
my
2
word.
then?
I don't know.
Somebody else.
Harrison.
No, somebody else with DPJ had 2. Maybe it was Harrison Bryant.
But he had 2 touchdowns in one game, and I know that.
And then Kendall Lamb had 1. But I did not find this as funny as you did at first, because I was like, oh, that's so sad. Like our leading receiver as far as touchdowns was our running back, who had 5 touchdowns. How do we not have a receiver who's got like 15 touchdowns? I mean, we spread it out. I mean, it's still 27 touchdowns overall, I think. So, I mean, we spread it out, but hey.
And our run game is better than our pass.
Typically,
it
typically is. So,
Nick Chubb's a beast.
Nick Chubb's a beast. My next favorite tweet was one of @Miles L. Garrett in response to a tweet. Should he make a cameo in the next Jurassic World movie? The tweet basically insinuated that if Myles Garrett does not make a cameo in the next Jurassic World movie, it'd be a crime. Myles Garrett responds to cameo. And @Pete Smith, again, @_Pete Smith_, he says one of the background dinosaurs, which I find absolutely hilarious, because he could be. Like, he could like walk up and like punch a velociraptor in the face.
And they'd be like, oh my gosh, it's a dinosaur.
maybe he could come up and like take off his Browns helmet and hit a velociraptor with the helmet, but would that go too far?
No, he rips off the velociraptor's head and just starts beating it with it.
So he goes biblical is what you're saying. So he goes,
No.
yeah, he goes all oh yeah, now I can't even think of it. Look at the pastor who can't think of the guy.
No, he goes all Mason Rudolph on him. Okay.
He goes all Samson and rips the head off of a velociraptor, and then basically beats the other dinosaurs to death with the head of the velociraptor.
But
you just got a visual that you can't shake now.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Myles Garrett just punching a velociraptor and them just being like, oh my gosh, this dinosaur saved us, and him just being like, nah, I'm Myles Garrett.
I'm Myles Garrett. I'm not a dinosaur.
Who are you? I'm Myles Garrett.
I'm Myles Garrett. They call me Flash Garrett.
Dude, imagine
something like that.
Imagine he's the main hero in the next Jurassic World movie.
He's right alongside Chris Pratt.
Dude, I couldn't imagine.
I could totally see it too. Totally see it. What's your final tweet of the week here?
Our next tweet is @BLKDog99. Big Phil. He said, I am so sick of the media associating Manziel and Gordon with the @Browns. Those 2 bumps set this team back years.
And
it's true.
I cannot disagree with Big Phil. Because Johnny Manziel and Josh Gordon are now playing with the Zappers in the fan-controlled football league.
Zappers.
And we wasted draft picks and money and time and energy and effort into those 2 fools. So I shouldn't say fools, but those 2 guys that didn't live up to expectation. But that is a great tweet there, Big Phil.
You know, Josh Gordon's whole thing is kind of sad.
Yeah, he's got so much talent.
Yeah.
Could have been so huge, but sometimes you just can't let go.
Stuff, you know. Yeah. No, then he signed with the Seahawks and didn't do anything. And then it just went downhill from there. And now he's playing for the Zappers.
It's not a bad thing, man. Hey, there's some good.
Manziel.
There are some good players in there, man. I was looking at some of those rosters. There are some good players in there, and maybe some guys that you might want to take a look at and sign in at least to a practice squad to get moving. Right?
I've seen a little bit of the FCF, and you're
a Twitch guy.
It's a weird format. It's weird.
It is kind of weird. It's kind of arena league.
They literally take a snap off of a stool. Yeah.
Seriously? They take a snap off a stool?
Yeah, for the 2-point conversion.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah. So for the extra point, they basically have one receiver and one corner, and the quarterback Johnny Manziel literally takes this ball off of the stool and like tries to like throw it to see if they can catch it.
I gotta catch some of this stuff on Twitch, I guess.
It's crazy.
So that does it for our tweets of the week. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you find out. Go look up some of those guys at Pete Smith, at Corey Kinnan, at Big Fool. I think it's Black Dog, but you know what I'm talking about. You can go back and check it in the show notes. I'll put it in the show notes for you, as well as every link to all the articles that we do. Again, we're going to talk about upcoming dates to be aware of. Tomorrow's March 1st, so we kind of start the franchise tag stuff that's happening. Again, I don't think the Browns are going to franchise tag anybody. I don't see anybody that's going to get franchise tagged. We'll probably talk about this a little bit next episode, but I think Baker's going to get his 5th-year option picked up. Denzel will get his 5th-year option picked up. And then we'll start playing around probably with extensions for Nick Chubb also in that mix. We're going to have the conversation. I know you don't want to, but we're going to have the conversation about how we can move one or both Jarvis and OBJ. I think one of them, if not both of them, are going to get traded or reduced, restructured.
Yeah.
Something's going to have to happen. They both can't make that much money and have that production. So
say Jarvis like a 2-year for like $20 million, maybe.
That would be a slight pay cut. I think he needs to make closer to 8 to 6 if he wants to stay with us, but that's just me.
Jeez.
He's only producing 800. I mean, he ended up the final half of the year after week 7. He should have been the number 1 receiver. He should have produced 1,000 yards and multiple digit touchdowns, and he doesn't because he didn't have the speed. There's no speed on the outside to help him underneath routes. He's basically running the routes the tight ends are running. Watch the tape, bro.
First year.
Crack a book.
First year in Kevin Stefanski's.
I'm just saying. I love him. I love my juice. So March 17th, the new NFL league year begins with free agency starting at 4 p.m. So we're working up to that March 17th free agency start of the year. April 5th, off-season workouts start for teams with new head coaches. We don't have one of those for a change.
Go.
So we don't get to start until April 19th, where everybody else starts.
Instead of having the worst coach of the year.
Instead of having the worst coach of the year, we have the best coach of the year. April 19th, April 23rd is the last day of restricted free agent signing. April 28th, last day for NFL teams to match offers for restricted free agents. And then we get to the draft, April 29th through May 1st, Cleveland, Ohio. But it's likely to be virtual again.
Darn.
Womp womp.
Would have been cool to see it in Cleveland.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see it in Cleveland. Shout outs. I don't think we have any tonight. Nobody hit us up on Instagram, which is sad because we do we put in so much hard work to make this nice and fun for y'all, and then we don't have anybody that wants shout outs.
We need shout outs.
We need some shout outs. Can you help us? Live here in Mom's basement, Mom wants a shout out. So
yeah,
Mom gets a shout out.
Shout out to Mother giving me birth. That's my mom.
There you go. Mom gets a shout out this week. Make sure that you are getting out there, giving us a review, recommending us to your friends. If you don't want to recommend us, then give us some feedback. Go to our YouTube channel, go to our Twitter page, go to our Instagram page. Tell us, leave us a message. Hey, guys, you need to get better at this. Again, I am just an old school Browns fan, and this kid is a new breed Browns fan. We are not paid to do this. We are just fans who want to share our opinions with you and our opinions with you. And just be involved and give you guys an outlet and hopefully have some fun. Again, well, this is Browns coverage at a discount price. Bob's discount.
You got it right this time.
I got it right this time. So leave us some questions. We'll take DMs are open. So hey, ask us questions. We'll respond to your questions on air on the episodes, and you name it, we're working on it. We're going to try to help this get better, and you'll have a better show to listen to. Grady, would you like to say anything in exit here as we leave?
Thanks for watching the New Breed Podcast with me, Grady Mitchell, and my father.
We appreciate you. And we thank you for watching episode 9 of the New Breed Podcast. Sorry, I'm going to bark.
Go, go.